in year two, and you have doubled. Did you see this? Did you see like systems breaking and you had to adjust your hiring or your processes? Did you kind of experience any of those types of scenarios?
Yeah, I think systems broke down and problems were created even more frequently than us doubling. Sometimes it was weekly, and it's funny timing that we're having this conversation right now is because just a couple days ago there was some crazy, there was a big moment that happened in our firm just a couple days ago, and it completely just it threw me off for the entire day. And what I noticed was because we hired a new employee, and every single time we hired a new employee, more and more challenges were created. And so when it was just me, I brought on one person, then we were fine, then another person. And once we got to adding in our sixth person to the firm, I mean, every person that we added, every subsequent person created new challenges and new problems. Where do they fit? How do we delegate this work? How do we split this up? And the culture also started kind of tearing apart a little bit, where people weren't really sure that they were gelling with other people, and certain tasks were being assigned and nobody was clear on what they were doing. So there was that cultural aspect that was falling apart. And same with the systems. We've just had to change and innovate it. And it's even a daily thing where I look at all the systems that we have now, and people and my employees are coming to me and they're saying, hey, Brian, what if we did this? And I'm always open to it, because I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know what I'm doing. I need to take the feedback from everyone who works with me. And they say, hey, Brian, I think this works better. Let's try that. And I say, sure, absolutely. And so as we grow, as different kind of challenges present themselves, we're able to adapt quickly, and people are on board with that, which has made it easier. But yeah, systems are breaking, but if you're ready for it and you know that it's coming, it's pretty easy to get yourself back on track and build a better system.
Yeah, that's a great characteristic that you have, that best idea wins, and being open to those ideas and feedback, and your people, I'm sure, thrive and appreciate that, as opposed to being told what to do and micromanaged, in every aspect. Probably too, you hire that first person and then they're doing a little bit of everything, and then you hire more people and they become more specialized. Just kind of naturally they gravitate to what they're best at. So when you were having these growing moments, what did it look like from a culture perspective? Did you, have one-on-ones? Are you doing more team outings? Like, what kind of things are you doing to try to keep that culture, really front facing?
Yeah, so actually an important thing to mention is we're a completely remote virtual firm. We don't have an office. I operate out of my house, home office. I have two employees who actually live in Las Vegas, and I have three other employees who live in Colorado. So we're all just virtual. So the biggest challenge in growing up and realizing that I wanted to be a business owner, I always wanted to make sure I had a good company culture. And that's really hard to do when you're operating remote and you don't get to see people and talk to them and socialize and chat. And so at first it was just me and one other person, and we would just, we'd chat on the phone, we'd talk here and there. She'd ask me questions, and we'd have meetings every once in a while on Google Meet or Zoom or whatever. And as we added more people in, then I started doing a Monday morning meeting where they all would talk. And it was cool because the employees, they'd come to me and they'd say, hey, we're on a FaceTime just chatting. Do you want to join? And I'm like, how do you guys even have time to go on a FaceTime and talk right now?
Right.
But they've been able to build their own culture amongst themselves, which has made it easier in building in that regard. But yeah, I mean, for the employees in Colorado, we go out to dinner. I'm planning a holiday party for us out here, and one of our employees is having a baby. She's actually on her way to the hospital now to go give birth. And so
Oh, wow.
she had a baby shower in Vegas, so I flew out the team to Vegas. We went and hung out over there, and just trying to do as much as you can to have a cohesive unit, because I mean, we have and you made mention of lions and a sloth, I think you said, but I really like lions. And so I call all of our team a pride, like we're the pride of lions.
Nice.
And so what we do is we have these Lions Den meetings is kind of what I call them. And so we get in and we talk, and we just try to have as good of a culture as we possibly can for a remote firm.
I love that, and I love that even incorporating, just owning who you are and the using that language. I think that would be really resonate with the consumers too, from just a branding perspective. Just something to think about.
Yeah,
and since you mentioned remote, I'm going to dig in here because first question is, when you were considering the options and the way that you're looking at law, a brick and mortar versus remote, what were those considerations that you're making to decide to go remote? And then the second question on that is, what technology are you currently using to take advantage and to really make this work?
Yeah, so the first consideration was when it was just me, I didn't really need to have an office because if I had to sign up a client, I'd go drive out to their house or I'd meet them at a Starbucks, I wouldn't bring them back to my house. But I didn't need an office. I was able to do everything from the computer. We had our case management software, which I'll answer in the second part of the question. But I had everything that I needed on just a laptop and a phone. And as we continued to grow, I was getting feedback from employees like, "Hey, it's really nice working from home. I feel more productive." And I'm just here. It's like we don't need a brick and mortar office per se. I mean, it's helpful. It's important if clients want to come in and have a local meeting spot and to have employees working together and building a team culture together. But for business operations, it's obsolete. There's no reason to do it. Chiropractor, physical therapists, they have to do their work in person, but we don't. We can do our work from anywhere. I can go fly to Bali and just work from Bali if I wanted. It's just that technology connected. And so as we've grown and we've added more systems, we've developed, and this is the second part of your question, we've developed the ways to be connected as a firm and with our clients. And so our case management software is kind of cloud-based, online-based, where we have access to all of the data. We have an encrypted, I guess it's like a drive kind of place where we keep all of the client files and organize them into folders. We have communication tools with clients where we can text them and the whole team can see them together. If we ever want to meet with the client, obviously I can drive out or I can jump on a Zoom call with them as well. So there's different things that we've figured out that just make it work to be remote. Now, long term, if you ask me, do I want to have a brick and mortar office? I mean, yeah, probably. Long term, it'd be nice just, again, for the company culture and to have a central meeting spot and be able to, go into work, into an office and have that environment. But I don't think it's necessarily necessary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that the Simon Law Group, they have their Justice HQ. They do a lot of remote work. I think they talk on Slack, and it sounds like you have a lot of those similar types of technology that you guys are using.
Yeah.
And we're a remote company too. And the one thing that we did was we hire strategically in pockets. So we hire, let's say 7 to 10 people in Louisville, then they can get together and have that that closeness feel while still being able to work from home.